What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, so I want to speak on this situation that's going on with the Patriots. As you all know, uh, Bill Belichick didn't get voted into the Hall of Fame. Now the owner of the Patriots didn't get voted in, and some people think that there is cause for concern for Tom Brady. Like he may not get in on his first go round. All right. And some people are saying, like, well, with Bill Belichick, man, the guy has 8 Super Bowl rings and 6 as a head coach, 2 as a defensive coordinator. Like, what else do you need to do? Then when you look at the owner, Robert Kraft, 6 Super Bowl, teams, he's been a part of that. So it's something else going on here. Like it's not just about the Super Bowls, and it just goes to show, like, no matter how many rings that these guys have, between them or individually, whatever, no matter how many rings they have, some people in the media are not happy with, I think, Deflategate and Spygate, right? And allegations of cheating and stuff like that. I think that's coming back to bite these guys. When Bill Belichick didn't get in, some people said, well, maybe the owner of the Patriots held him up, because they have some type of they got some type of feud going on between the two. But it's not now that the owner didn't get in again. It's looking like that's not even the case. It's looking like it's payback time for some of the cheating, and this is how the league repays you, or not repay you, but punish you for cheating. Like they don't really, they don't want to make themselves look bad and have a big scandal going on. So what they do is they wait until it's time where they can pay you back individually as coach, owner, and player. So now some people are thinking that this is a bad sign for Tom Brady. But let me also, Rob Parker on the Odd Couple was talking about this, and so I'm gonna play some of the audio from that, and then I'm gonna come back and give my input.
Let's get to it. And today we woke up to the news again that another Patriot top brass man, the boss man himself, Robert Kraft, did not get enough votes to get into the Hall of Fame. We saw it earlier with Bill Belichick. Robert Kraft's been trying for 13 years.
Yeah.
Like he's 84 or 5 years old. The clock is ticking. Let's just keep it real.
84 years old.
Right.
So, I mean, you're right. It's not even being funny. He's 84, and for him, I would imagine, what more do I need to do? I imagine in his mind, right? I've done everything. We've won all the rings, and at some point, I should be selected. But again, like you mentioned, not the case. Not him nor Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that's crazy for somebody who had like an owner to have been a part of all the success that the Patriots have, and this guy's still not in after 13 years. That's just crazy. And so maybe even before Bill Belichick was denied, and that your owner has been out there for way before Bill Belichick retired, he has been getting denied. So this should have been, maybe Bill Belichick wasn't surprised. And so that's probably like I said, a reason for Tom Brady to be like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get in first time around.
Check this year.
No. And Kelvin, I am of the belief that this is a pattern officially, because it could have been everybody had the idea that that Robert Kraft engineered this so that Bill Belichick didn't get in. You remember, he's the one who put together the documentary that kind of belittled Bill's input on it and had it focus more on Tom Brady and other stuff and not Bill Belichick, so that he was kind of like Bill Polian working the back rooms.
Yeah.
Let's keep Bill out. And then he doesn't get in as well. And now I'm looking at this as a pattern, because you look at the Patriots and this team and a lot of guys on it. Nobody's in from this team. The owner's now not in the Hall of Fame. The coach that everybody thought would get in with no problems not in. And now I think the voters of the Hall of Fame have to keep it consistent and not vote for Tom Brady. It's got to be a hat trick. You got owner not getting in, you got coach not getting in, and now Tom Brady should also have to face the same wrath. And I think there's a good chance of it. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, that's different from Brady because he went to Tampa Bay and won. But if you're going to punish what went on in the cheating, and that's what this is, it's got to be. Do you consider this punishment?
It has to be.
It has to be. What else could it be?
There is no person who should be more sure first ballot than you would think Bill Belichick.
And even the owner. Right?
But at least you can say, maybe. I'm trying to find a hypothetical where you could say, well, he's an owner. He wasn't out there. At least Bill was obviously the one coming up the game.
But I'm saying he's been out there for 13 years. Okay.
And, so listen, let's put it like this. There's no owner that can ever get in if he can't, based on the metrics. There's no coach that would ever get in if Bill Belichick doesn't get based on.
Right. What owner has more success than Robert Kraft? You know, like he has more Super Bowl, success than like every other team than teams throughout their whole history. Like he's 6 Super Bowl rings. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think how many Super Bowl rings the Steelers have. I think the Steelers got like 5 or maybe 6. But as an individual, he has more success than any other owner in football history.
And then you would imagine in 2 years, 2028, Tom Brady. Because check this out. Robert Kraft has to look at them and say, we've had 11 championships since I've been the owner. We've had 3 different regimes of head coach and quarterback.
Right. You mean that got to the Super Bowl.
Right. So he's
the constant denominator.
He will be the common denominator. So you would what more does an owner need to do to get in? I got 11 rings on my watch. And it's not like I'm owner for 70 years.
You mean AFC rings?
Yeah. And then you have AFC Super Bowl appearances. I'm sorry, Super Bowl appearances. Let me be clear before they start trying to chop me down. Super Bowl appearances. And then you have a coach who has so many, and now you got Tom Brady in 2 years. So this has to become, to your point, where it's going to be institutionalized, where they're saying, we don't buy, we think they're either going to say, we'll vote you in, but not first ballot, so that you can have a blemish when you go into Canton, and there's the blemish, or they're going to have to say never. I don't think it's going to be the latter. I think it's going to be the middle. I think they're going to say, you know what? We can't sit up here and rest on our laurels for too long. We can't look people in the eye and say, I kept Bill Belichick out. I kept Tom Brady out permanently. But what I can say is, I believe you cheated, and there has to be a penance for it, and I'm going to put a blemish on you, and that's what I think that's what we're dealing with. They're saying.
All right, so I can go for that, right? I can kind of see where as though they're going to say, all right, we're going to keep you out, because they can't keep these guys out forever. None of them, right? Because of they did have the success on the field. Now, I do think that I thought that because they were punished at the time, like they had to pay fines and lost draft picks and stuff like that. I thought that, that was those punishments was like enough to be able to move on and put that behind them. But obviously that's not the case, man. Now they just, they still want to punish them some more for cheating. But I don't think they can keep these guys out altogether, because you can't, you can't just X them out of football history, with 11 championship appearances. You just can't do it. You can't keep Tom Brady out. One of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. You can't keep Bill Belichick out, one of the best coaches, so eventually they'll get in. Hopefully this guy, Robert Kraft, I know he hope he get in before he passed, but that's just crazy.
And y'all not going in first ballot perfectly. You cheated the system. You cheated the game 2 to 3 times. Here's a mark.
Yeah, but mission accomplished, and that's what I'm saying, is the blemish that you're talking about. When you write those obituaries and those stories about them long term, it is going to be that Bill Belichick, who won 8 Super Bowls, 6 as a coach with the Patriots, but was barred from the Hall of Fame on his first try. That has sparked a controversy. So there will be a little bit of that, right? That's a part of his story now.
You know what it did, Rob? Because you've been covering this league since 1987. And I've been covering this league now for 21 years. I've been in this business. There's someone a little younger than me who kind of can't. I remember something about
now you know about it.
And now they're like, oh, I thought Bill would have been a shoo-in. I thought Robert Kraft
Let me read about this.
Now they're reading about it. Now they're seeing. And now they have for their own self to go, man, what is the level of cheating that I'm comfortable with, or I think it's just, gamesmanship. And I think that's what now the big thing is just done. It's kind of recreated or resurfaced, I should say, the stories and the narratives that I think they were hoping were dead. They were hoping everybody forgot.
Yeah, I just think that once they get in, I don't know how much investigating people like once these three men get into the Hall of Fame, and people don't say, well, they in. They're not going to investigate and say, well, how come they didn't get in on their first go round? I don't know, because if you go visit the Hall of Fame and you go to and you looking around and stuff like that, you don't say, oh, this guy didn't get in on. I don't think that really matters. I think people just interested in the history of the game. So once they in. I don't think you can tell the story of football without including these guys. So eventually, I think they're gonna get in. That's my take on the situation. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.